What's up, y'all? Y'all already know what time it is. This is episode 3 of the halftime show with your boy Courtlandt Griffin. Man, y'all already know we bringing y'all one of the greatest shows that we just started. You know what I'm saying? We 3 episodes in, but I got a very special guest today, a person who's as dope as they come when it comes to sportscasting and giving her hot takes. The host of Sports After Dark, Miss Let Me Just Say This, Miss Ashley Baker. How you doing, AB?
Hey, what's going on, Courtland? How are you?
So man, just give the people something, some little tidbits about you before we get into this good old show.
Absolutely, yeah. So as you mentioned, I'm Ashley Baker. I am the Washington Wizards reporter for Fox Sports 1340 AM. I'm also a social media producer with BetQL under Odyssey Sports. I have my own podcast about nothing but sports that you can find on Google, Spotify, Apple, and also, as you mentioned, a Twitter Space host for Sports After Dark. So yeah, that's where me and you get a lot of our dialogue in.
Man, y'all already know, man. If y'all haven't been, if y'all don't have Twitter, go ahead and download that app, man. Look us up. Definitely look up Ashley because Young Heavy, her, my guy, Mark Gunnels, man, they be in there. It's a pack up session every night, man. So y'all.
And I gotta commend you. Let me tip my hat off to you for always standing 10 toes.
Hey.
You come in there with some spicy stuff, but you stand.
Hey, I gotta
10
compete. I gotta compete with your spicy takes, man. I can't come in there and not be spicy. So so first of all, y'all already know how we do this, y'all. We 2 episodes in. Y'all should know the routine, man. We go in with these halftime adjustments. This is our quick hit segment, and Ashley, she know. I already know she gonna bring the heat with it. And the first one up, we had your boy. Thomas Davis, former, Carolina Panther linebacker. He's talking about your boy Micah Parsons. He says Micah Parsons is one of the guys who revolutionized the game in today's NFL. What you got to say about that?
I think that's a great compliment coming from Thomas Davis. Listen, so I love Micah, and I think in Micah's draft, damn, who did I really want? I think I wanted Surtain.
Yeah, it was a couple of people.
I wanted Surtain real bad. And so we didn't grab him. I'm like, all right, Parsons, let me see what this guy's gonna do. But when I started to see what he did, when I started to see how Dan Quinn started to use him, when I started to, especially when he was a dog coming off the edge when we didn't have in some of those games we didn't have DeMarcus Lawrence, and in some of those games we didn't have Randy Gregory. But once we got those guys back in position and you could just put Micah anywhere, I was like, oh, this is gonna get nasty. I mean, there were times where it was crazy. There were times where I would see Micah all the way in the secondary trying to pick off a pass. I'm like, okay, so we could just plug and play him. That's just such a seriously, Dan Quinn. That's such a luxury to have, yo. Like that's something that he just has to be in love with as a defensive coordinator. So I like Micah. I think I would have loved for Micah to get like defensive player of the year. I kind of did that.
I thought he was actually, I think, early part of that year, he was being talked about as defensive player of the year, rookie of the year. And the crazy thing
who ended up getting it again?
Oh man, I can't. I think it was. I want to say it was Watt. I want to say Watt got defensive player of the year that year. I could be wrong though.
It might have been TJ. I think you're right.
It might have been TJ. But right. when I did my big board, I had Micah Parsons as the best prospect in that draft, and then I for sure shout out to my guy Danny Thompson. I thought he was going to the Falcons. I thought for sure Atlanta was picking him up. And then when he went to the Cowboys, I was like, yo, that is ridiculous. Like that defensive front, that's ridiculous. And I didn't think he was going to play as effective as he did because I saw him more as a strong side middle linebacker, like a strong guy, middle linebacker guy. And then when when Smith went down, when the Wolf Hunter went down, and it was him and Landon Vander Esch, and like you said, Randy Gregory and those guys, and he was it was like, where do you want to put him? Do you want to put him on the edge? And he was bullying defensive tackles. And Micah Parsons, if you've seen him, he's a big guy. But when you look at like the prototypical edge rusher, he's not that. He doesn't have that stature. But the fact that he was out there bench pressing guys and pushing them into the quarterback's lap was something serious.
Was crazy. Yes. I was loving every bit of it.
I know you was.
We got something here. We done struck lightning.
So man, we staying in the Big D.
Sure.
It's a couple of guys that have had some good seasons, but haven't been that Pro Bowl caliber guy. One of those guys plays in your backfield by the name of Tony Pollard. Man, does he break out this year?
I don't know what you mean by that. Does he break out this year?
So does he reach the potential of a Pro Bowl caliber guy? Like when we look at it, like the guys that we know are perennial Pro Bowlers, does he have that chance?
No, I don't think so. Because regardless of what people want, Ezekiel Elliott is still the featured back. He's still the number one back. They're paying him as such, and I mean, I don't know. Is the NFL like as heavy as far as like popularity with the Pro Bowl, like the NBA is with the All-Star? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if they are. I think they still more.
If he was like in the NBA and could gain popularity votes, yes, but your name is still not bigger than Ezekiel Elliott. So Ezekiel Elliott would cast a ballot there. He would get the nod there sooner than Tony Pollard would, to me. But I like everybody's energy about Tony Pollard. I just don't feel like that he should be the featured back yet. I don't feel like him and Zeke. I've been preaching this. Him and Zeke bring something different to the position, and they're best working off of each other. You know what I mean? Zeke is that run. Tough, picking up the tough yards, hard nose type of runner, where you got Pollard being the more finesse runner. You know what I'm saying? And that can go off at any moment, and you got a plan for him and stuff like that. So I hate to say it, but I think a lot of Tony Pollard's success was also predicated on the fact that nobody really knew much about him. Right. Now they have film on him. So now where they weren't planning for you and they were only planning for Ezekiel Elliott, they're going to plan for you, bro. You know what I mean? So, which is why it's important to make sure that they're sharing the load, which is why it's important to make sure that it is very clear as to who is still the feature back, which is Zeke. So, nah, I don't think so.
So I kind of got a differing opinion on this, right?
Okay.
Tony Pollard to me is that dude that if he was a feature back somewhere, I could see him being a Pro Bowler. I agree with you.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you that if Zeke is healthy this year and if Zeke looks like what he's looked like in these images that they've put out, where he's a more slim down cut dude, he's in better shape.
I saw that last year, by the way.
Yeah, so, right, exactly. The supposed
right.
best shape he's ever been in his life. Then yes, like of course, Tony Pollard is going to be the second guy, right? But we've seen this happen before. We've seen guys in a dual threat backfield. Both guys make the Pro Bowl. Lindell White and Chris Johnson did it here in Tennessee, so many years back. Yeah. So do I think that Tony Pollard could do it? And he's also a special teams threat. I think he can do it. He's a receiving guy. He can do everything. And with the way that offense and Kellen Moore has that offense kind of, getting them guys involved. And also you don't have Amari Cooper outside eating up targets anymore. So CD Lamb, it's Gallup, and Tony Pollard could be your third guy coming out of there and giving some shake and bake. And if he plays up, I think he can.
It's a possibility. Those are great points. I can't even fault you. Those are great points. But
I did my homework.
Yeah. I feel that. Look, I know how you roll. I already know how you roll. You are very intelligent. I don't be around folks that's not intelligent sports. So that's cool. But I agree. If he was somewhere as a starter, he would get the nod for sure. It's just that his name ain't ringing bells. Like, I mean, they would no way that he would get picked over like Ezekiel Elliott.
No. So we staying in. We know what the news is, man. We've seen this happen. Just recently, N'Keal Harry finally gets shipped out of New England and goes to Chicago. And then Baker Mayfield, man, that's the big name right now, goes to Carolina. What's your takes on those? Like, what do we, we've heard people say some things about, Baker Mayfield and Sports After Dark, but what's actually Baker's take on these two moves and what it can make out for these two teams?
Well, poor oh God, Justin Fields, man. I'm feeling some kind of way because what's this, Justin Fields' third year?
This is his second season. Last year was his rookie.
He was a rookie?
Yep.
He was a rookie. Are you sure?
Yeah.
He was a rookie last year. Okay.
Last year was his rookie year.
All right, well, that changes things. So, how did I know it? I could have sworn this was going. I could have sworn
It seems like it because you've heard his name so much.
Yeah, or just I can't believe that he just wasn't in the conversation more last year at quarterback. And I mean, I can't believe he had Matt Nagy as his damn coach. So
Nagy was beating the table for Andy Dalton and.
Right. Okay. Right. You're right. So, I hope that this somehow, some way works out for Justin Fields, in Chicago. I mean, I asked folks in one of the spaces that I was in early to give me their wide receiving core. No names rung any bells, so I'm not sure of who. I don't know what this was. I mean, I guess they threw him a bone.
The only guy that they really have is an undersized guy in Mooney. Mooney's more of a slot receiver. N'Keal Harry is a big body, but again, we haven't seen him live up to that potential that he had when he came out of Arizona State, where he was supposed to be the big body receiver that can move, right? Like they can wiggle in the open field, and we just haven't seen that in what he's supposed to have been in the league. And he's been hurt. He's been inconsistent. He has drop issues. His route running is not great. And when you're a Belichick guy, he takes you in the first round, which is rare. He don't take guys in the first round.
No, he does not.
You know what I'm saying? Well, he takes guys in the first round, but if you get taken in the first round, that's a big deal because you're a reflection on him. And we've seen these guys get shipped out. Sony Michel got shipped out. N'Keal Harry now is shipped out. So these first round guys are not panning out, and I think this is more of a reflection of Belichick, in my opinion. But N'Keal Harry also has a big part in this. But I hope that he figures it out.
Me too. I do. And I hope for N'Keal, yes, but more so for the sake of Justin Fields.
Yeah, because I don't want him to be like Lamar, where he got no targets.
It's a lot of people that are like that. He should request out. He should demand a trade. And I'm like, now I was rolling with that until I was just educated that this is only year 2. And I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes on him requesting out after 2 years. Like,
give him 5 years. Give him 5 years and then let's see what happens.
5 years with some type of progression, though. Don't just have me sitting there and you're not doing anything to build the team around me. Maybe year by year, you giving me something. You showing me something showing me that you're trying to, help me out in some aspect. Bless you. That you're trying to help me out in some aspect, but don't just have him sitting there looking crazy for 5 years. But no, definitely ride it out. See what the new additions, bring. See how he can work with them. So that's the Justin Fields situation. With Baker, listen, I have a soft spot for Baker Mayfield. Maybe it's the last name, first name thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I have always had this soft spot for Baker Mayfield. And prior to last season, I mean, he did get his team to the playoffs.
First playoff game they won like 20-some years.
They won a game, as a matter of fact. And he played hurt all last season. Looking back on that, that was a bad idea because it made him look worse than what he actually is. So I'm hoping with a healthy Baker Mayfield. It sucks for that division though, because the Saints are probably going to be good. Obviously, they have Tom Brady in the division. Was it the Saints? Was it Saints? Tampa?
It's the Saints, the Falcons, it's Tampa, Carolina, New Orleans.
Yeah, the Falcons aren't going to do much, but the Saints and the Bucks are going to have something to say. So, we'll see with Baker. I like Baker. I hope that Baker has some type of revenge tour. I would love for Baker to be like comeback player of the year. I would love for Carolina to find a way to get into the wild card spot because, I mean, to me, obviously Tampa is going to win the division in my book.
I don't think there's a question in that.
Yeah, but as far as like the Saints, I mean, the Saints should be good, but they also don't have Sean Payton. And Drew Brees ain't coming through those tunnels either. I mean, they dealing with Jameis Winston.
What's crazy, he was talking about bringing that man back last year.
Who?
Brees.
Oh, Brees. I remember that.
That was crazy. I was like, what?
Yeah. So the Saints are just up in the air. So if the Panthers can find a way with Baker, they have Christian McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying? So
if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, let's not act like that they don't. Baker is serviceable, bro. Like, people be killing me acting like Baker is just horrid.
So I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's bad. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he got a bad hand going to Cleveland. When he got taken with the first overall pick to Cleveland, I said, wow, normally this is where quarterbacks go to die, and he starts his career there. That's not good. So when he went there and they actually were good, and then you get Jarvis Landry, then you get Odell Beckham, then you get Nick Chubb, and you get my man that came from Kansas City. I can't remember his name. It just slipped my mind. Kareem Hunt. You get those guys, and then they went and stole Jack Conklin from us in Tennessee. And then that defense,
Clowney,
Clowney. What's my
Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett. Then you got them bookend corners on the outside, and you had them guys in the back end.
Let me tell you something. Coming into last season, I want to say that I was predicting that if any team was going to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs, that it was going to be the Browns. And that was because of the performance that we had just saw from Baker Mayfield. They were just in a divisional round of the playoffs. And then coming into the next year, arguably the most complete team in the league. That was literally my projection. I got hair in my mouth. That was literally my projection. I'm like, yo, they're going to be the only team that's going to knock off. And then
they had the talent. They had the talent. And the issue with that is we've seen teams like that either boom, I la the 2006 to 08 Patriots.
Yeah.
Both of those teams lost in the Super Bowl. And then you either see them bust. So like you got the Cleveland Browns that busted. So what my thing is with Baker is he has to not play with his emotions as much. And I know that makes Baker Baker. Yeah. But now you have to kind of curtail that and keep that chip on your shoulder. But at the same time, understanding you're now Baker Mayfield, the veteran quarterback. You're not Baker Mayfield, the walk-on at Texas Tech, Baker Mayfield, the walk-on at Oklahoma. You're now a highly sought-after quarterback now. You're one of the guys that you one of few guys that can say, I won a playoff game in Cleveland. So now you come in here, and the only person I think that this is sad for is my man's from the Jets. He was seeing ghosts. Dang, what is his name? He was just the starting quarterback, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I think this is bad for Sam Darnold. Just for the simple fact he came there, he got hurt last year. He was on a roll. He started the season hot. They was 3-0. People were like, "Oh man, the Carolina Panthers have arrived." Their defense looked really good despite the injuries, and now that defense is going to return healthy. But Sam Darnold now got to look over his shoulder because not only did they draft Matt Corral out of Ole Miss, then they just traded for a guy who's going to start. Baker Mayfield's going to start.
Darnold was drafted where?
So Darnold went to the Jets.
Number?
Darnold was like the number 2, I think.
I think he was like too. I was going to say he was definitely top 3, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was I think the second overall pick that year. So like when you look at it, they just traded for a dude in Baker Mayfield, first overall pick. He's going to start. Then they drafted a quarterback because they don't trust you. And then my man's who the head coach there, he's fighting for his job. So he has to hope and pray that this works out because he thought that he could change Sam Darnold and really make him better, and it didn't look good. And then when you resort to having to go get guys that were the former quarterbacks, like you got to go get Cam Newton, like to come back, that's a problem. But yeah, man, I hope
they've been missing the mark on the quarterbacks the last couple of seasons. Yeah. I've even heard Carolina fans complaining about that. They've been pretty pissed. So yeah, that's facts. I hope it work out for real. I really like Baker. Sure. I hope that I don't know. I would love for something like they start out 4-0. Like I would love it because I mean they were cooking last year until they ran into Dallas, and I think they ran into Dallas like week 5.
Yeah, but it was Sam. I think Sam Darnold ended up getting hurt in there somewhere too.
I think it was McCaffrey. I think
McCaffrey got hurt. I think week 2. And then Sam Darnold gets hurt, I think, somewhere between there.
Did we see CMC? I don't know if he got – no, we did not see CMC.
Yeah, CMC got hurt.
But they were still on some type of roll before they saw it.
Yeah, they was 3-0. They started 3-0.
Yeah,
I think they started 3-1. They was 3-1. They had like a really close loss in there, and then they came to see y'all, and it was like –
after that, it was just downhill for them. And I'm like, so – hopefully, again, if folks can stay healthy, and then you have, the serviceable quarterback in Baker, hopefully they start off like 4-0, 5-0. That would be crazy. I would love that for Baker.
I hope so.
I would love that for Baker.
So we finna get into these. That was our halftime adjustments, of course, like y'all see, man. This is actually Ashley being somewhat calm. So, but we're gonna get into some topics that's gonna get her a little bit more hype.
Oh, man. Brother.
So our first topic, man, the Cleveland Browns. We're gonna stay in Cleveland here, man. So when we're talking about it, y'all see the tagline, man. Badland, man. So you got Deshaun Watson, who they're talking about may miss they may suspend him for a season, maybe 6 games, maybe 8 games. We don't know. It's a toss-up. If, let's just say, hypothetically, we go with what the report is, a year suspension for Deshaun Watson, what do the Browns do now that you have Baker Mayfield gone and your other guys are Jacoby Brissett and Josh Dobbs?
Jacoby, for me, is serviceable. He's serviceable. He's serviceable enough. Damn, for a whole year, that would suck. Right. I don't think Deshaun will see anything past 8 games. I really don't. 6 to 8 games. So he'll come back in the second half of the season. I think that this season, I think honestly that the Cavaliers, the Browns, my bad.
They might need to borrow some players from over there.
The Browns, I honestly think that the Browns should kind of consider this year a wash. And I only say that because even if Deshaun is out for 6 to 8 weeks, you still got to come in. You got to build chemistry. You got to build cohesion with the team, with your players, all of that, the coach staff, all of that. By that time, bro, we in the latter part of the season, it's going to be too much. So they should probably consider this year a wash. If he's out for the season anyway, it's a wash. You know what I'm saying? Like in that division and that conference, no way. Cleveland just don't have a chance, in my opinion. Unless Deshaun plays from the jump.
Right. So my question is you said Jacoby Brissett is serviceable.
I think he's serviceable.
Right. Let's just say you're the Brass. Like I said, you got these 2 options. You got Dobbs, you got Brissett. Mm-hmm. But then you got free agents that are floating around out there. Maybe a guy that you can probably get off the trade market for a little bit of nothing.
Who?
Maybe a guy that you just traded your former starting quarterback to in Sam Darnold, who's probably going to get released after the preseason. Maybe you go grab him. Who, like, what do you think is, like, I know you said Jacoby is, let's say he's serviceable.
Yeah.
Are we moving forward with him if you are that front office?
If you have somebody like Sam Darnold, perhaps, but, and I hate to sound like just giving up-ish, but again, that's what I was saying, like this year, you might just want to, for what? For Sam Darnold to come in one. I don't like that these teams don't take the players into consideration as well. So would you bring Sam Darnold in for 1 year just for him to be shipped back out again because you're not going to stick with him next season? It's going to be all about Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? Like I would hope that wherever Sam Darnold go is somewhere where he can be for, like, you got to take these. And I know it's a business, it's fine, but I would hate that for him. So look, stick with Jacoby. If Watson don't come and just I'm sorry, I would just consider this year a wash. Like I really would. Like this conference is nuts. You making all that moves? You making a move for Sam Darnold for what? What you making a move for Sam Darnold for? To still finish third or fourth in your division?
Right, because I don't see. And here's my thing, right? I don't see because in that division, the Ravens are going to be back healthy.
Correct.
They're going to be retooled. Mark Andrews, you got Mark Andrews coming back healthy. You got Rashad Bateman. You're going to get a full year of Rashad Bateman with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Tylen Wallace, he's there. You know, so he's going to get a full year out of the slot. He doesn't have anybody. That wide receiver room is kind of shaking out and shaping out now. And then, of course, you got J.K. Dobbins and them boys in the backfield that's going to come back healthy. So you got to think that team's going to come back and be full force, full steam ahead because they feel like they got overlooked last year with all of the injuries and stuff. So they're going to come back. You can honestly slot them in as a solid top of the division.
Correct.
Now the rest of the division, I think, is kind of a shakeup because if that defense in Cleveland – but here's the thing, like and this is where I argue, right? If that defense plays like it's supposed to play in Cleveland, even if you have, like you said, a serviceable quarterback, maybe you can shake. Because I think Pittsburgh is going to be sneaky this year because I don't think people are really giving them a lot with your boy
Mitchell,
Mitch Trubisky in there. So I don't think people are really looking at them as a threat. But Mike Tomlin to me is if not the best modern coach right now.
Can I give a hot take?
Go ahead.
This will be the first season that they have a losing record under Mike Tomlin.
I said that too. I
agree.
But I was like, I don't want to bet against Mike. Him. Yeah. I don't want to bet against Mike Tomlin because I really respect him and what he's done in Pittsburgh. Being able to have years where you look at that roster and you're like, man, an agent Ben Roethlisberger, a wide receiving core that ain't really solid, a running back situation that's as serviceable, marginal at best, and then you bring a defense in that's still good but old, and he still manages to year after year after year pump out a winning season. I don't want them to lose, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think Mike Tomlin gets those boys to play, excellent football. So to me, Cleveland, like you said, third or fourth in the division, you should call the season, you should call the year.
Yeah, don't be moving people around, having folks uproot their families and stuff just not to keep them. And just for y'all don't really have a shot. You only have a shot, in my opinion, if Deshaun Watson is there. In that division, in that conference, you only have you know what I'm saying? If there's going to be a second team that come out of the division, it's clearly going to be between the Ravens or Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? Whoever. So depends on whoever finished first.
So with that being said, right? Yeah. We're just hypothetically saying that Deshaun Watson is going to be gone. I'm just going to say he's going to be gone for all 18 weeks. That's just me for the sake of this argument this time.
Okay.
Give me a nominal record for the Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson going into 2022, 2023.
I saw this on the rundown, and I pulled up this. All right. I'm just looking at their schedule really quick. I think that, good Lord.
Right.
Yikes. I mean, they play the Ravens twice. They play the Bengals twice.
Right. I think they snatched one just because that division is so competitive.
You think they're going to split? I don't think they're split.
No, I don't think they split with both teams. I think they split with one or the other. But
they're splitting. I think the only team they're going to split with is Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I said 7-10. I said without a Deshaun Watson on this team, I said 7-10.
I'd give it 6-11. 7-10, somewhere around there as well. Yeah,
because I wanted to be nice and give them 8 and 9, but I was like,
not, Courtlandt.
But I was like, I can't see it because at this point, Pittsburgh is just good enough to sweep you. You know what I'm saying? Cincinnati is not going to get worse; they're only got better, and that defense should be more solid. Even though I still have questions about the middle of that defense, and then with Lamar Jackson, like I said, and that Ravens team coming back and that contingency coming back healthy and Harbaugh and them boys, all of them feel like they got slighted last year. There's no way that you're going to beat them twice. So I'm like, to me, that's already 6 losses. If you know what I mean, even if you split, that's 5 losses, 1 win. You only got 6 more in there that you can kind of toss up in there. Yeah. And every team has that 1 win where they kind of, you know what I mean, they beat a team that they weren't supposed to. But to me, I was like, man, 7 and 10 is about where I see him. I was like, and that ain't bad without.
I agree.
That ain't bad without your $230 million quarterback.
That's not awful. It's not awful, but
that's good enough for a 13 through 20, draft pick. So you still get a good player and still come back with Deshaun Watson and know that you. And this is a deep wide receiver draft coming out too, so we can see some guys really shake some things up. But we finna go. Out of the AFC North, man, we finna come over here to that good old NFC East, man. We finna talk about some rivals here.
Oh, brother.
So Miles Sanders came out and said, I feel like we're on an all-star team.
Did you see the look?
Yeah. I said it.
Did you catch that? Did y'all catch that? Catch that smoke right there. That was a smoke look.
Let's play that back. Miles Sanders says, I feel like I'm on an all-star team. And the first thing when I read that and I heard it, and I went on YouTube and I watched it, and then I read it again, immediately came back to me and I said, this sounds like Vince Young getting up on the podium during the offseason and saying, this is a dream team. So, do you feel like this is Dream Team 2.0?
I'm looking at the roster.
Or do you feel like this is pie in the sky?
Listen,
getting a little ahead of yourself.
To the Ravens fans, to the Eagles fans, my bad, one of them birds. To the Eagles fans, listen. On paper, banging team. I mean, they had an incredible offseason. Let's just be very clear with the pieces that they acquired. The draft was very lit for the Philadelphia. I get all that.
Unfortunately.
So on paper, they should win the division. Absolutely. Should certainly be a top, 4 seed for sure. But I don't know about Mr. Jalen. Okay, I don't know about Mr. Hurts. I still have to see what he does with the talent around him. Now, fortunately, the Eagles started to show some signs of life last season. Now, they didn't beat any teams that were over 500 or whatever, but they started to find their identity. And see, that was my biggest thing coming into the season for them when I was getting asked questions about my division. And I didn't know where the Eagles were. They didn't have an identity. I didn't know if they were going to be a run team, or if they were going to, they were going to use Jalen Hurts as their special weapon. I didn't know if they were going to be a throwing team. Like, I really didn't know. And they didn't know either, because the beginning of the season was horrible for them. They started to finally find that rhythm and find that identity at the end of the season. And I believe that in finding that identity, that it was going to roll over into this season. And then again, all of the pieces they got will be dope. So, yeah, I agree. He on somewhat of like an all-star team. Yeah, on paper, they look very, very, very good.
So
I mean, their odds. I feel like the draft, their odds to win the Super Bowl went bananas.
It went sky high. Yeah, that always happens. Here's where I disagree with Miles Sanders, and why I say it's pie in the sky. You're kind of getting too big for your britches. You got a bunch of guys who are uncertain and injury prone on this team. Like Miles Sanders, you ain't been healthy the last 2 or 3 years you've been in the league. Like, we ain't seen you play a full season yet, and you got all the potential in the world to do it. Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. Like, he's not great. And they already reports coming out of camp is he's still struggling. So you were this guy who I had so much hope for, and I got into many a debate between, hey man, like, what's the difference between Lamar Jackson?
Wait, Courtlandt, who's your team?
I'm a Titans fan.
Okay, you was giving me Eagles vibes just now.
No. I have certain players that I kind of rock the table for because like I like them. Because like Jalen Hurts grew on me when he was at Alabama, and I can't stand Alabama, but he grew on me when he was at Alabama. Then he goes to Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley and them boys, and I'm like, okay, Jalen is really, like, people said he wasn't a quarterback, he's just a running back with an arm, like, who can kind of throw the ball. And then he goes to Oklahoma, he under Lincoln Riley looks like a perennial first round pick.
Yeah.
Then he gets to the league, and it's like, man, okay, you're inaccurate at times, your anticipation, you ain't really you're shaky here
just
at best.
Just not NFL ready.
Right.
Yeah.
You use your legs to bail you out every time. But then I was like, well, maybe it's just because this team won a Super Bowl, then Doug Peterson leaves, and then you're going through this shift where it's like we got to kind of shift out the old regime and bring in the new guys to kind of build around this new quarterback. But then you got A.J. Brown, and I've been with A.J. Brown for the last three years now, and doesn't play the full season. Knees is bad, hamstrings are bad, ankles are bad. Great receiver when he's on the field.
Making some real good points here, Courtlandt.
Great receiver when he's on the field. Oh yeah, great receiver when he's on the field. Can win single-handedly win you a game. You want to see how a man can single-handedly win you a game? Go back to last year, Tennessee Titans versus San Francisco 49ers. We're getting our butts handed to us at home, and A.J. Brown decides to wake up in the second half, and he almost beat the Bengals. If it wasn't for a late situation, bad interception by Ryan Tannehill, he would have probably, if there was an MVP award for a playoff game, he's the MVP of that game too, because he made some great catches. Yeah. The one guy that I feel like is the dude who should feel slighted in this situation is Devontae Smith. He's the number one. He was the number one, and the Eagles.
You don't think he still is?
Oh, he is. So, I mean, no, because like if A.J. Brown is healthy, then he's a top 10 receiver in the league if he's healthy. So Devontae, I think, has more upside, yes. But AJ is still that guy. He's a proven commodity. But when I look at this, I can't say you're on the all-star team because your quarterback is uncertain. You ain't played. You're not healthy. Your receiver that you just got, you don't know if he's going to play all season. So it's one of them situations where, again, it's a dream team 2.0 again. Vince Young comes out and says that. Ellis Hobbs didn't play. Who else was on that team?
They kind of bruised and battered over there the way you talking. No, yeah, seriously.
So and my thing is I said this, and it was a hot take, and I said this. I said I think that the team that people are overlooking in the NFC East are the New York Giants. And the reason I said that is because I think they have the talent to finish second in that division. That's just me. And I feel like the Washington Redskins. They're not the Redskins anymore, guys. Sorry, they're the Commanders now. They're the team that can compete for first. So you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just me. And that's not to go against the Cowboys. I still think the Cowboys are going to win that division.
Courtlandt,
I still think the Cowboys win that division.
Not you.
But the Washington Commanders have hold on. Everything you said about the Cleveland Browns and everything you said about these boys here, right, applies to the Commanders.
No, absolutely not. And let me tell you why. Because it always looks good for Washington. It always looks good. I'm telling you, it looks like that they're going to be. I mean, come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we thought the defense was going to be. I had the nerve out of my mouth to say that their defense was scary as hell because it did look.
It still looks scary. Montez Sweat, them boys over there.
Yeah, until this hair is driving me nuts. Until it's time to be go time. Yeah. And go through the weeks and stay in shape and stay uninjured
stay healthy.
And show up. Healthy. That's what I'm saying. And show up. I do not every year. I think that it's going to be something with the Washington Commanders. They're kind of like Dallas in a sense. One dimension is clicking, but the other one ain't. Yeah. So while they may have a decent offense, because I'm not gonna say they've ever had this crazy offense.
No, they ain't never been
a decent offense. They may have a decent offense. The injury bug has hit their defense.
Right.
Or when they have a great defense, something ain't clicking on the offense. And all of a sudden, their quarterback ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. Or, the running back or tight ends is hurt. This has literally been year in and year out with I can't not putting my money on the Commanders in any capacity. It for me, it's Dallas or it's Philly. And I'm not. Show me where the Giants can stay healthy too. I mean, what we basing this off of Saquon?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. The whole division be the
healthiest team is Dallas.
Yeah, and even y'all be.
And that's not saying much.
Right. So again, so you said that you think the Eagles have a competitive chance in this division, right?
Oh, the Eagles. If my football senses are correct. They'll do enough. It's not hard to win a division, by the way. They'll win the division, and Dallas will come out as the wild card.
So I'm gonna hold you to that, and I'm gonna say, can the Eagles truly, with Jalen Hurts at the helm for this team, do you see them actually being able to muster and eke out what I'm going to say in the NFC this year is a winning record would be anywhere between 10 and 12 wins? Do you see this Eagles team
I can see it.
being able to eke out those kind of things?
I can see them going 12-5.
Okay.
I can see them going 12-5.
Because I got them at 8-9. I got them at 8-9 just because of Jalen Hurts and the uncertainty and the injury bug that just seems to ache these players. Like Jalen's to me, you got Rager and those guys. And Smith and Devontae Smith, if he hadn't, I think he had an issue with his shoulder or something last year that kind of kept him out. That kept him out some games. But the dude has been generally healthy, and when he was healthy, he was killing it. He was he was the dude that kind of jumped out your screen off the screen to you and said, "Man, this dude got legit number one potential." And I thought for sure they was gonna go get his running mate. I thought they was gonna go get Mechie. Or one of those dudes out of Alabama.
Same. But I thought so too.
I was like, man, that would be a match made in heaven.
Who was the other one? Williams?
Yeah, Williams. I thought they were going to get Jameson Williams or Mechie. I was like, man, this would be a match made in heaven. Look what just happened when you reunited a quarterback with his college running mate and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They went to the Super Bowl. Them dudes they looked like they never missed a beat. I'm like, Jalen Hurts and them boys, you get him, and then you got his former teammate Devontae Smith, then you go get Mechie or Jameson Williams, and them boys get to come in and be, buddies again and get that chemistry going. But again, they got AJ, and I don't blame him for doing that. When the top 10 receiver falls in your lap, you go ahead and you go get him.
You gotta do it for sure.
Right. So I don't blame him for that. But again, it's just for me the uncertainty of Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, and then the injuries that befall the 2 of your 4 star players. Like AJ Brown is not a guy who you're going to herald for him being healthy, and Miles Sanders ain't been healthy since he left Penn State.
So and
he wasn't even healthy at
Penn State. Win the division.
I think they have a chance to compete for number 1. But to me, I think if I had to say the way that division falls for me, it'd be Dallas, Washington, Philly, and then New York at the bottom. I just think New York is a sneaky team. If I had to go dark horse in that division, I just think they're sneaky. They're sneaky.
You going against the masses here, having Philly at 3.
It's cool.
I feel you. I feel that.
I ain't hurt by it in my team. I'm just telling how I see it. I just tell how I see it. But we finna go into it, man. Like I said, we're with your girl Ashley Baker, man. I appreciate her for even following through. She's so busy. You know what I'm saying? She out here on everybody's show, doing her own show. She got Twitter, people trying to pack her up, all that crazy stuff. But Ashley, we're finna get to a fun topic, man. I think it's a topic that maybe we can touch on further in Sports After Dark. You can steal my idea. I don't mind.
I ain't never stealing because I'm always going to get credit. Come on now.
But, man, we've seen some guys, like we just talked about, receivers being shifted to other teams and guys finding new homes. And, we've seen the money. But we forget that those number 1 guys got another guy on the other side of them that's making it a little bit easier. So we finna talk about who these top 5 receiver duos going into the new season. And you can go from 5 to 1. You can go from 5 to 1, 1 to 5. I don't care how you want to do it. I give 1. You give your 5. I give my 5, and we'll go from there.
All right. Damn. Okay. This is off the dome. I know you sent me the rundown, but this is really off the dome.
It's cool.
Right,
it's cool.
Off the dome. Is this? Oh, you said receiving duo, so this is not like receiving course. I can't throw a tight end in there. All right, bet.
I just need the 2 guys.
All right. He's not supposed to be out that much longer. I'm not gonna leave my guys off this list. So I'm gonna throw in CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup to be 5.
Okay.
This is they are familiar with the quarterback. And CeeDee was easily Dak's favorite target last year, despite having Amari. So I'll go with those guys at 5. I'll go with. I like Devonta and AJ.
Okay.
I like Devonta and AJ. I like
4
Devonta.
better than CeeDee and Gallup.
Yeah. And that's mainly because Gallup is coming off the injury. You know what I mean? The ACL injury. He's not even due to come back to like mid-October. So that I'm gonna have them at 5. I'll put Devonta and AJ at 4.
Okay.
We'll do Evans and Godwin at 3.
Okay.
I know it's tough because Godwin is coming off that injury too.
Right.
But they also have Tom Brady throwing to them.
Can't argue with that.
That's 3. 2, man. It's a it's a lot of good damn duos.
That's a tough list. You're gonna have to, because somebody gonna get left off. Somebody
getting left off. Because I'm telling you, where I'm at 2.
You at 2 now?
I'm at 2 already?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, I'm at 2 already. Oh no. Damn. I'm at 2 already. Who's Chase with?
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Higgins?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at that at 2. I'm not mad at that at 2 because I think Higgins is gonna be sneaky good because they're gonna be paying so much attention to Chase. Right. They're gonna be playing Chase tough because he can easily go to the house from the line.
He's a game breaker.
Exactly. So I go with them at 2, and I like Hunter, Renfro, and Devontae at 1. Ooh. I know. I was on the dome. Hey, bro.
If I had a rap poem, mic drop.
Off, yo. I'm literally
mic drop.
Who I leave off, man? I gotta.
Man, you left off some. Huh? So I'm gonna go with mine.
Okay, huh? Let me hear yours. I'm gonna be mad. I'm like, damn.
We're gonna talk about it. Okay, so I got Hunter Renfro and Devontae at 5. The only reason I have those 2 guys at 5 because they haven't played with each other, and Devontae will be learning a new quarterback. Though he played with him at college, he still got to learn Carr now. He's been in with Aaron Rodgers, who's the greatest anticipatory passer in football. Hunter Renfro to me is that guy where it's like he hasn't gotten the respect he deserves. Dude is a route technician. Like he can break dudes off, and if you break down his tape and really look at what he does at the top of routes and how he stems and stacks, and I play receiver, so when I look at that, I'm like, that boy footwork is ridiculous. Like that's crazy. You got two of the best route runners in football on the same team now. So I when you said Vegas might do something this year, Ashley, I don't know. I might have to go with you on that one. I might have to change my you might change my tune. At 4, man. I gotta go with the first name guy. You know what I'm saying? Us Courtland's were all great. Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, man. Like I think with them having Russell Wilson, adding him an elite quarterback to actually get them boys the ball. Jerry Jeudy again is one of the greatest. He's one of the best route runners in the league. Courtland Sutton is a big body that goes and gets it. And when he's healthy, he's easily one of the top 10 guys in the league to me. If not top 15, you can kind of nitpicking there who you want, who you don't want, but the dude is ridiculous when he's actually playing. We added Russell Wilson to that contingency, and then you also, I ain't even name KJ Hamler at the slot, but them 2 boys out there finally having somebody that can actually throw them the ball accurately on time, and Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, if not the prettiest deep ball. You got to throw those guys in there. At 3, man, I'm finna shake some tables here. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, man, out in Los Angeles.
Courtlandt, always shaking the table, man. At 3.
Well, hey, at 3, and I'm gonna tell you why. Go look at them boys. They was the most productive. They was the highest tandem production in the NFL last year. The highest tandem production in the NFL last year. You get a guy in now with Justin Herbert, who is now year 3, year 4 for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a contract year for him. Like, well, minus like if they extend him out. I think he has a 5th year option in there, but he's playing for some recognition. People got him in that top 10, and he's at the bottom half of the top 10. So now he's trying to get that recognition to say, hey, I'm a young gun. I can do this with the best of them. You got them 2 guys that's young. Mike Williams is a young stud. Keenan Allen has been doing it for years out there now. So I think you got to throw them guys at 3. At 2, we finna go. I like to call them the Miami Speedway now. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. It's speed kills, and we've
nervous about Tua, man. That's why I ain't got them up there, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I think even with that, man, them 2 dudes, like we just said that Jamar Chase was a game breaker. You got Cheetah out there who's a game breaker. We seen the man do it big, and then Jalen Waddle last year pretty much made gave Tua another year. So now with those 2 guys, like I said, speed is the name of the game, and they got it in bunches. You got a 4-2 guy who can't be chased down from behind, and Jalen Waddle, when he actually breaks out and gets going, you can't get that guy either. So, and then I gotta go with the reigning Super Bowl MVP and his new running mate, Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson has been doing it for years now at a very high level.
No and Justin Jackson, Chase, and that.
Here's the thing, right? I know I got them as the you know what I mean, but that was the only picture I can find where 2 guys was high-fiving, so don't charge it to my heart. So like Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp to me is a guy who's now cemented himself as one of the best in the game right now. Allen Robinson is now going to find himself in a situation where he was in Jacksonville, didn't have nobody next to him. He was single-handedly doing it by himself. Then he goes to Chicago, he's doing it by himself, and now he's in LA where he's going to fill in the position where Odell Beckham was, and now he gets to do that and eat up all those targets with Cooper Kupp out there. Those two boys is going to be ridiculous. And then, of course, we know Los Angeles just likes to stack the deck out there. They might repeat this year. So that's my 5. I'll run back through my 5. I got Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams at 5, Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy at 4, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams at 3, Tyreek and Jalen at 2, and Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson at 1.
You don't like Mike Evans and
So the only reason I didn't have them in the top 5 is because of the injury to Chris Godwin. If Godwin is coming into the season healthy, then I'll probably bump down Courtland and Jerry and Jerry Jeudy.
Throw them in now.
Yeah, I'll probably throw them in at that, and I'll probably bump Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams up 1 and put them in there. I can't argue with the guys that you named, just because of, like I said, when you start these top 5, top 10 lists, definitely with guys going into the year, you're nitpicking because all of them have good quarterbacks except for maybe 1 or 2. All of them have guys that they're some of these guys are returning, guys. Some of these guys are hurt. Some of these guys are not. It's one of those situations. So, your 5. Only thing I think who'd you say was
you didn't like? I know you don't care for CD and Gallup at 5.
No. I don't have an issue with that. Run through your 5 again.
Oh, that was off the dome. Right. So I said CD and Gallup at 5.
Right. You had somebody at 4.
Devonta.
You had Devonta and Hunter at 4.
Devonta and AJ at 4.
That's who. So here's my issue with that, right? That was the one I had some contention with.
Your issue is Jalen Hurts.
Right, because my issue is with that is Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. The thing is does AJ Brown play more than 10 games this year? Yeah, AJ Brown, does he play more than 10 games this year? He's one of those guys, like I said, when he's at the top of his game, he's healthy, he's stellar. But then when but the best ability is availability. When you're a receiver and you've got a quarterback who's trying to build that chemistry, it sucks when you don't have that. That's what hurt the Titans last year. Was Julio was barely on the field, and as many games as Julio missed, AJ missed, and neither one of those. And when we needed those two, there was no chemistry on the field, and so therefore you get missed timing routes. You get when receivers and quarterbacks are playing with each other, you got to have that connection. That's what made Aaron Rodgers so dangerous when he had those guys out there. And, James Jones and Devontae Adams, because he can throw that back shoulder fade, and before they even turn it around and look for it, they know it's there. Tom Brady. We talk about Tom Brady and how he does it with anticipation and the guys that he has. And how can he take a guy like who he has, like no-name guys like Cameron Brate last year, who I think was his second favorite target last year, and make him look like a Pro Bowl tight end.
Yeah.
Because he has chemistry with that guy. You know what I mean? So, that was my only contention with your 4. And I know people are gonna probably, try to pack me up about Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton, but they got Russell Wilson out there. You better go see them boys. Like,
that's fair. That's fair. When you broke down and you didn't have to remind me, but throwing in the rust factor there, that makes a clear difference. This is not your boy. What's his name? Who'll be rapping?
Drew Lock.
This is not Drew Lock throwing the ball. So I get it.
She said he'd be rapping. But hey, so don't get it twisted though, y'all. Don't get it twisted though. I'm not disrespecting these two guys right here, man. I'm not disrespecting them.
Because I was gonna go Jefferson and Thielen too.
It's just Jettas is the guy, and Adam Thielen is slowly starting to show his age. I think he only had like 795 yards last year. So if Thielen can recapture who he was when he was actually doing, when it was him and Diggs, then I can throw them boys in there all day, because to me, Kirk Cousins is a sneaky good quarterback, but It is what it is.
You see that look? That's the I want smoke look. That's the look. Stop. Give it. Y'all drive me nuts with this Kirk Cousins thing, man. But for the sake of time.
Right. Hey, but stick around, Ashley. We're gonna bring you back. Y'all know what time it is, y'all. It's time for this pep talk. I'm gonna bring Ashley back here in just a second. So y'all already know what time it is, man. It's time for that halftime pep talk with your boy Courtlandt Griffin, and we giving it to Baker Mayfield today. So Baker, here's my issue with it, man. You just said, hey, I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You had that chip on your shoulder coming out of college, Oklahoma. Then you went to Texas. You went to Texas State. Then you went to Oklahoma. Then you come to the Cleveland Browns. You win a playoff game, right? You went out there and you said, I'm going to show that not only am I dedicated to football, not only am I dedicated to winning, but I'm dedicated to my team and my city. I'm gonna play hurt. Played hurt and it backfired. So guess what? They traded you. They brought in Deshaun Watson, a guy who may not play this year. He may play 6 games. He may not play 8 games. He may not play the whole year. They traded him and said, we're going to give him $230 million and we're going to ship you to Carolina. That chip needs to be bigger than ever on your shoulder. But Baker, you got to be more mature. You have to show up. You have to show out. Because guess what? You got expectations galore. People are saying, man, you ain't that good. Baker Mayfield ain't that guy. He's washed up. We knew he wasn't that good in the first place. Baker, that chip needs to be huge. It needs to be huge, right? You need to take the Panthers and do something this year because not only are you riding on your future, but you're banking on yourself and your family and your name, right? We just saw Jamarcus Russell get talked about as one of the biggest busts in NFL history. You don't want to be in that conversation. So, Baker, this is a pep talk for you, man. Go out there in Carolina and get it done. It's your boy Courtlandt Griffin signing out. So we're gonna bring Ashley back on, man. Like I said, this is an honor to have Ashley on the show. You know what I mean? Like I said, she's one of the most sought after people. I'm afraid this is episode 3, so with her comes smoke and fire. People like to come and like try to get you packed up, get you up out of there. But it's all love. So Ashley, can you tell them where they can find you? You know what I'm saying? And just give wherever you want to say closing remarks.
Yeah, sure. So, as you mentioned, I am the host and producer for About Nothing But Sports and Sports After Dark. Sports After Dark on my Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at AshleyBaker_21. That's the same for my Instagram as well. I'm going to start putting more content for sure up on my Instagram. I have neglected my Instagram, people, so I apologize. And you can also find me on Facebook at Ashley Baker. I throw content up there as well. So yeah, that's where you can find me. My podcast, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, did I say Apple, all of that is where you can find me. So yeah, we're always in Sports After Dark. I always love it when you can tap in with us. I always know that you're gonna come in there and shake the table.
I'm gonna shake the room.
I love when you shake the room, and I love it because again, like I mentioned, you stand 10 toes and you make people look at stuff from a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So whether people are open-minded.
Hey, that's respect. Hey, y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here first. A superstar just gave your boy some. She on the other side. I'm sorry. She just gave your boy some love here. So y'all better tap in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to miss this out. But like I said, man, it's all love. I appreciate having Ashley Baker on the show. We're working on getting another host, one of the co-hosts for Sports After Dark, Mr. Mark Donald's on the show. So whenever he can get on here, man, we're gonna talk some NBA or something with him, man. Mark is another guy who we got some immediate respect for. Hopefully we can get him in here. But y'all, again, this has been another halftime show with your boy Courtlandt Griffin with our special guest Ashley Baker. You can find me on Twitter at DCGriffy, where I'm getting packed up constantly. But do I care? No. The most recently, I just posted Derek Jeter. The Derek Jeter and A-Rod conversation is getting old, y'all. I need y'all to put some respect. And when I spell respect, I mean RE2 plus PECT, okay? You know what I'm saying? Respect on my man Derek Jeter's name because he is the GOAT Yankee. Also, man, follow me on 3-Point Conversion for more articles and in-depth takes. Also, hit me up on Twitter with my hashtag HTWITCG. If you do that, man, any questions, comments, or anything like that y'all want to hear on the show, see on the show, any guests or anything like that, takes that y'all want to get on there, believe me, I'll put y'all up here and let y'all get packed up instead of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather see other people get packed up. But, hey, it's your boy, Courtlandt Griffin, HTCG. It's must see TV. I'm the best in the nation. Peace.